Ooh, I shorted something. I don't know what I did there. That wasn't good. Goldenmate has once again sent over a UPS for us to take a look at. In this case, this is the 800 watt version of the 600 watt version we previously checked out. Both models are the same, with the only differences really being their capacity. They have all the same features and functionality as far as I could tell, and the same pros and cons. So instead of doing basically the 600 watt video all over again, we're just going to jump straight to the point because they are the same. Most of my complaints are very minor, and they do have a Pro and NAS version of these UPSs available, so those things that I complain about might be working on the new versions of the same hardware platform, but I don't have them, so I don't know. So of course, my first complaint is the LCD is not always on. Yes, you can turn it on and it temporarily stays on, but I wish there was a way to just have it on all the time. That's a personal preference thing, not something really worth complaining about. It's so minor that I don't really think it's an issue, but I'd still like to see as an option. Number two, the mute is temporary. So right now you can hear it beeping, I think. There it goes. And then we can mute it just by pressing the button on the front, and now it is muted. If I restore power to the unit and unplug it again, it will beep again. Unlike this UPS, if I unplug it, one moment, this UPS can be permanently muted, meaning it will never beep at all when it's unplugged, which is nice. I do like that it does beep and informs you that there has been a loss of power, but there really needs to be a way that you can just leave it constantly muted, which I think is a feature on their NAS version of this, so that could be something worth considering if that's a complaint that you have like it is for me. All right, let's get this heavy thing out of the way. So the other complaint I had about this particular unit was also with the information on the front of the screen. You don't really get a lot of detailed information about your runtime. You just get those bars letting you know that the battery is being used, but the runtime is kind of unknown. You might have a minute left, or you might have 5 minutes left. You really don't know. That's something I hope they also fix in the future. And of course, I think they've already fixed this on their Pro models, but it's really hard to tell because they don't have pictures of the USB on their website or on Amazon or anything. But allegedly they've added USB communication so you can turn off your PC, and apparently they also have some models that now have USB on the front, which this model does not. So those may have been fixed in the Pro or NAS models, but again, I don't know because the pictures online are not very good, and there's also no YouTube videos, as far as that I could find, showing the Pro model or the NAS version. So those features may be there or they may not, I don't know. Actually, I still need this for representation purposes. The biggest strength of these units that I've seen so far is the fact that you can overdraw power from it for quite some time before the unit actually kicks in its overvolt protection, which has been incredible. So traditionally I've tried using one of these units for my garage, but it turns out the garage motor actually shuts off when it's overdrawing power from one of these units. So I've used my 600 watt one to leave in my garage, so that way if the power goes out and I need to open the garage door, it'll still open. And because this actually allows you to overdraw for quite some time, the garage door is actually able to open completely before the power drops again. The garage pulls over 600 watts of power, and therefore it needs to be able to pull that power just for the briefest of seconds, maybe like 5 to 10 seconds, which these units definitely allow you to do. And after that like brief 5 seconds or so of overdrawing power, it draws or falls back down to about 450 watts, which is well within the rated range of operation for one of these units, and the garage is able to completely open with no problems. Now this particular unit is also just like that because its 800 watt capacity allows you to go over 900 watts. So my gaming setup actually can pull more than 900 watts of power. And this unit does a really good job of letting me pull over 900 watts of power for about a minute or so. Maybe it kind of depends on the situation, but sometimes it's a minute, sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter. But I'm able to pull over 900 watts of power on it before the overvolt protection kicks in and turns everything off, which is pretty fascinating. That is definitely not something that happens with these. And one of the reasons why I've gone without a UPS for so long, because my gaming setup just pulls too much power. This is almost good enough for my gaming setup, but it's not quite there. I think I actually need 1,000 watts or more because, like I said, my gaming system pulls over 900 watts, no problem. So because this unit is basically the same as the 600 watt unit that I've previously checked out, and there's really no difference between it and the other one, aside from capacity, of course, let's actually try and tear this apart and see how easy it is to service this unit. I don't see any ways immediately to open it, so I'm guessing underneath these rubber feet are where the screws are. So let's see if we can peel one of these off. Nice, that came off with no trouble. That one as well. And yep, there's 4 screws on the bottom here, so let's go ahead and get those removed. Also, I have no idea what I'm doing, so just because I'm doing it this way doesn't mean this is the appropriate way. And yes, I also have turned off power already to the unit, so hopefully I don't kill myself. All right, so just based off the design of this thing, I assume that the entire unit slides now that the screws are loose, and that's true. The shell does slide right off. Very nice. Okay, wow. Where to begin? So this is the inside of the unit. It's got a metal plate all the way around. That explains why this is a little bit heavier than I guess it would normally be. I like that. Very good. It's actually very good build quality. I'm guessing there's a huge heatsink in here as well. Okay, and the batteries are actually right here. I can see the battery cells right here. Let's get a closer look. All right, this needs to be said because I've already almost shocked myself. Please do not do what I'm doing. Okay, before we try and go take everything apart, let's actually look at the build of it before I touch it and start moving things around. So, looks like everything's pretty well cable managed, and everything seems, I don't know, very well done, I guess, overall. Pretty happy with the way everything looks. I just really like it. I don't know how else to describe it. It also appears that underneath this shield is where the power supply is, the power unit. Looks like there's a really big heatsink underneath there. And then these are definitely the batteries. You can actually see the individual cells within the battery. So, I don't know, let's take a look. I actually just noticed that you can see some glue on the ends here. So it might be a little difficult to see on camera actually, but there is glue on this, which is nice. That means, you know, when you're pulling on these cables, you don't have to be too concerned about ripping out any of the wires. And it does look like there's like a wax seal on both of the connectors to the power supply. And it looks like there may be only 2 nuts that need to be released on both sides to remove the unit. I don't see, this glue doesn't appear to affect the functionality, let's see, of any of these wires. Let's move this cable out of the way. So for instance, let's pull on this one. Yeah, see, comes right out and you can see the glue on there pretty well. So it looks like the only way they know that you've tampered with the unit for warranty purposes is if you move this, what looks like wax seal. So they'll know if you've done anything with that. Kind of pick at it a little bit, see if I can just get this off at all. Yeah, I don't think, I could probably get that off, but I'd really have to work it. All right, so I'm just gonna try and see if we can peel off, I guess we're gonna be tearing off this wax or plastic or whatever it is. I have no idea how else I'm supposed to get this off. It's actually on there pretty well. And I'm dropping bits of wax or plastic inside of the unit. I'm tearing it instead of pulling it away. It is on there very good. It actually feels more like rubber than wax. definitely going to void the warranty on this. So I want to keep this too, which kind of sucks because I actually really like this unit, and I'm sad that I'm probably going to lose my warranty on it. Oh well. Let's just hope I've removed enough wax to actually remove this. Oh, it's on there very well. There we go, yeah. Things I was not prepared to do. I didn't intend on actually taking this apart, but then I realized I didn't really have any content to make because we've technically already covered this before. All right, there we go. Tape to hold that down. I don't want this to touch anything. I definitely don't want the red one to touch anything. Ooh, I shorted something. I don't know what I did there. That wasn't good. Definitely got it. Oh. Definitely a bit of a electrical spark there. Maybe I should tape around this end. Like a dummy, I was touching metal. So that's probably not gonna work anymore. We'll find out because I probably just killed it. This is why I try to say, don't do like I do. Not thinking very clearly on this. I am not an electrical working expert. Glad I didn't shock myself. Woo! Scared me a little bit. All right, that should be safe now. And now let's tape it down for real this time so it doesn't move. That's why they have these things like this, to protect people from doing stupid stuff like myself. All right, back to trying to unplug it. All right, so the knife is pretty good at like cutting it, just giving us enough to basically tear away. All right, that's likely good enough. Let's see if we can get in here the screwdriver. Yep. That lead is removed. Now this time, let's tape this lead as well so I don't shock myself or destroy the unit if I haven't done so already. Very likely I've already destroyed it. So I'm gonna cover it in some electrical tape just to try and prevent any further destruction or accidents. Make sure I tape it pretty well. And I'm also going to tape it so it's out of the way. All right, that should be safe. All right, let's see. How do we get to those nuts? So I was actually wrong. There's two nuts on this side. This one's actually very hard to show, but there is another nut hidden away on that, just underneath there. There it is, right there. Very hard to see. So there's two on this side and only one nut on this side that needs to be removed. All right, this needs to be said because I've already almost shocked myself. Please do not do what I'm doing unless you have the appropriate tools. I very, very, very likely almost hurt myself badly. So just be very cautious. You probably need the right set of tools at home. But with all that being said, here I go for the learning experience anyway. So I have an 8mm socket that I'm going to use to remove the nuts on the, I guess, the battery holder. I don't know how else to describe it. Let's see if I can get a magnet in here because that just fell down inside. Thanks, magnet. It doesn't appear to be magnetic. Okay, it's slightly magnetic. All right, there's one bolt out. Let's remove the magnet for now. Get the third nut. I said bolt. That's one nut out. All right, two. I have no idea how well this is going to show up on camera, but just going to reach in there. All right, I'm on it. And that one is removed as well. I really wish those were magnetic because that one is down in there. Let's see if I can get it. Perfect. All right, I assume you can just lift up the entire unit now that it's free. It seemed to be snug. Nope, there you go. It's free. Just like that. So, is it serviceable? Yeah, you could definitely service this. Is it dangerous? Probably a little bit. Power supply is really well protected, so you don't have to really worry about touching any of the stuff that can actually hurt you or kill you. Did I short this out very easily? Yes, because I was not using my brain. Instead, monkey brain kicked in. So this unit probably doesn't work anymore, but we'll find out here shortly. But yeah, I think you could service this. I'm not sure exactly how you would replace the batteries though, because it's not like a battery pack that you can just, slide in and out. You'll probably have to replace all of these cells individually, which would require a little work. And I am not going to take this part apart because I still want to use this UPS because, I don't know, it's a good UPS and hopefully I didn't already ruin it. So I'm not going to ruin it any further. I assume it's pretty easy. You just have to remove the top and bottom covers here. I don't see any ways to unscrew it, but likely you have to remove the plastic pads on the top and bottom to maybe get at some screws or something that's holding it together. This is pretty heavy. This is like all of the weight of the unit. All right, let's get this back inside. Didn't shock myself. The unit's put back together. Hopefully it still works. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the shell back on. I'm pretty sure I connected everything correctly back together, so I'm not too worried about it. Maybe I should be worried about it. All right, shells should just slide on with ease. Okay, let's try this way. There we go. Shell is on. Screw it back together. And then I'll try and power the unit back on, but I'm pretty confident. If this thing works, I will be shocked. I'm pretty confident it's dead. The real question is, can I trust it after taking it apart? It's a good thing I did all my tests before taking it apart. Otherwise, this whole video could absolutely be ruined. I'm committed. I'm even putting the rubber feet back on, so that's how confident I am in this unit. All right. Let's hope it doesn't catch on fire. All right, powered up. No warnings. It is beeping because obviously it's not plugged in. Let's plug it in and see if it starts a fire. Here we go. It's got juice. Any fault lights? No fault lights. I did hear it click over to wall power. No funny smells. All right, I think we got lucky. This thing is still working. I think. All right, let that be a lesson into why you should always use proper tools and know what you're doing and have experience, because if you're like me, you probably shouldn't be doing this at all. Holy cow. All right, I guess that was pretty good. So final thoughts about this UPS. Great for home use. I think it's perfectly adequate. A nice substitute over traditional NiCad batteries. The lithium iron phosphate is obviously great because you're gonna get lots of longevity out of this unit. And again, just for simple home use, just for a computer that you're just gonna use and not really care if it auto shuts down and things like that, this is probably more than perfect. And with built-in surge protection and all that jazz, I think it's going to be a great unit for most home users. Personally, I would like to see the Pro version and see what that's all about, and even the NAS version. For my home setup, these units just aren't strong enough. Neither are the ones that I have that are 1,000 watts. I need something that is at least 1,200 or more watts of power. I'd love to check one of those out, so hopefully if Goldenmate does see this video and watch it all the way through, think about considering sending one of those big boys over so we can put that through its paces. Again, I love these units for the fact that you can overdraw more power than they're actually rated for, and they typically will run for anywhere from a few seconds to a couple of minutes, just depends on the load, I suppose. Wait, one more thought. So my Goldenmate UPS will have to sit like this. I hope that Goldenmate makes a rack mount version because my gaming PC is actually racked right here in this small rack. So it'd be great to see an actual data center version of the Goldenmate UPS. And that's pretty much all the thoughts I have on these units. Again, if you could find them on sale, well more than worth it, in my opinion. So with that all being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.